Prosperity, y'all. Rob Blackstorm, what's going on? I want to talk today about these gender wars in the spiritual, mystical community. But I was watching somebody stream, and I was rocking with their content as usual, listening to what they were saying. And then there's this ego science where it's like men are nothing, men don't have any access to spirit. There's no such thing as the divine masculine. And I'm like, what? A, do you know what I could do in magic and mysticism? Like, like in real life? B, do you know how much I revere women and understand that women are the soul? Understand that women are the first? That I understand that women are source energy and that women are stargates themselves? Like, this is understood, but I deal with polarity, yin and yang. What's up, bro? Yin and yang and balance. Even in the atom, let's go to the basic building blocks of matter, right? Atoms. Atoms have protons, which are masculine, right? Carries an electric charge. And then you have electrons, which are feminine. They carry a magnetic charge, right? So you have electromagnetism in the atom, and then you have a neutron, which balances both things out, right? To say yin, which is feminine energy, is better, stronger, more powerful, more holy than yang makes no sense. It's not even scientific, right? You have Mother Nature, Mother Earth, right? And you also have Father Spirit, right? Father Sky or Father Sun, right? That represents the four elements. Element of air is masculine, right? The element of fire is masculine. The element of earth is feminine. The element of water is feminine. Balance. The scale of Ma'at, the feather on Anubis scale of Ma'at is feminine. It's feminine energy. It's the conscience. It's within. It's internal. It's hidden. It's the womb. It's the divine matrix, right? But then you have the heart, which is Heru. It's masculine, right? It's external. It shows like the spirit. And you can tell if somebody is in a bad spirit because you can see it on their face. So that is masculine energy because it's external, right? It's the will. It's the power to overcome, right? It's having strength and vitality, right? So men are built with a physical structure that is normally stronger than women. Now, if women work out and do different things, right, you can be stronger than a man, right? Because that's because we are balanced. Now, once you understand spirituality, once you understand mysticism from an esoteric place, then there's no way you're going to say, oh, because I have an XY chromosome, that the XX chromosome doesn't matter. In fact, it takes exactly 6 weeks, 42 days if you do the math. 7 times 6 is 42, which there are 42 laws of Ma'at, right? That's the spiritual science, the esoteric science of it, right? So you got 42 laws of Ma'at, and the esoteric science is that that's when men are created, right? Masculine energy is created, or a man, or right, a boy child comes after those 6 weeks. If the penis or signs of a boy child are not produced within that 6 weeks, right, then they remain a female. So even in that, even in the genesis of men, Ma'at is involved. Women in indigenous times, they would take care of the home. They would take care of the children, right? Men in indigenous times, they would go to war. They would be the hunter-gatherers, right? They would make sure they bring things home for the family. They would make sure they hunt the animals, right? This was their purpose. This is what they did, and the women stayed home and they took care of children. Now, We have single mother households right now running the melanated so-called black community, right? I was raised by a single mother. I'm not anti-women in any way, shape, or form. I got 3 daughters that I raised that are doing well. I understand the divine feminine very, very well, right? And through my ups and downs and trials and tribulations with the not so divine feminine, made me understand me for better. But this does not mean that I am ranking myself higher than women or ranking myself lower than women either. No, I'm not going to do that. Yes, when you breed a horse and you have a horse, right? In order to get a horse and her, whatever you call child horses, right? To basically rock with you, you feed the mother horse first. And then the horses rock with you, right? That is how the horse works. But now the male horse is not the same because the male horse is independent, more independent. He's more likely to buck. He's more likely to go crazy, right? But the mother energy is the one that takes care of the family. It's no different than the electron energy, right? The electron energy is the energy that varies, right? And any man will tell you, if you ask a woman what she wants to eat, right? You ask a woman what she wants to eat. 9 times out of 10, you might be going through ups and downs, trying to figure it out. And a lot of times you just got to make this decision for them, right? Because it's electron energy, right? It is soul energy. So it's in all sorts of different places at different times sometimes. And it depends on emotions and feelings. The dominant, right? It's dominant energy, emotions, feelings, right? Now I understand that there was the rise of the divine feminine going on. I understand that because women have been belittled and downgraded in this Western Caucasian man, not melanated man, this Western Caucasian man society, right? That there is going to be a case of, nah, we ain't going for it. Nah, we not having that. Nah, we not the people to be played with. And y'all gonna give us our respect. And y'all gonna recognize our divinity. Y'all gonna recognize the symbols of ancient times, the ancient oracles. Y'all gonna recognize, like a good movie on this divine feminine is, or a good series rather, is Dune Prophecy, right? Where it talks about the Bene Gesserit, which is basically the symbols, right? Basically, and they made them, they whitewashed them, made them Caucasian, mostly in the film. But there is a melanated sister that you got to pay attention to because she's actually the most powerful of the crew. And that's done on purpose, right? So next season, they're probably going to highlight her more, is what I predict in Dune Prophecy. But again, to say like men cannot like to say then there's no divine feminine in male and say the sperm has no value. Like the sperm is electric. The sperm shoots out, right? The sperm is electric. It's electric energy. It travels through the womb. It moves with a squiggly tail. The sperm is the basis of your physical brain and spinal cord. Go look at the brain and spinal cord and tell me it doesn't look like a sperm cell, right? And a sperm has motion. Sperm is moving. Sperm is not stagnant. So the sperm, but the woman, right, and this is scientific fact, the egg is actually what calls the sperm in. The egg is what pulls the sperm in. The egg chooses what sperm is going to enter, right? So the egg is magnetic. It's also no different than when a woman opens up her vagina and allows a man to come in. That's magnetism, right? But the man has to produce electricity to attract the woman. He has to produce a nice car. He has to produce external things, mostly, right? He has to show he could provide. He has to have a nice car, a nice home, nice character, be funny, be charming, right? He has to show that he could take care of her in some way, right? Whether, even if it's not financial, emotional, right? There has to be some sort of attraction for her to magnetically let him inside her vagina and open her legs. and the man goes straight in. Electricity. Come on, man. Again, don't believe me. Fact check me. Please fact check me. And if I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Right? But yin and yang, balance, justice, truth. This is what we come from. Just like the movie The Woman King, right? Now, of course, this is fictional. But when the king, right, recognized that Viola Davis was putting in work and that she was a king unto herself, he put her on a pedestal. He gave her stool, right? She was the woman king. So, melanated men, we always have recognized, melanated men, let me say this, melanated men that are in tune with their divinity, divine masculine. Because nigga, ain't nobody gonna tell me I ain't divine masculine. I understand, and it's not out of ego. My ego is based on truth. My ego is based on scientific study. My ego is based on the communication I have with my ancestors. And you're not gonna tell me, you're not gonna, man, if divine feminine was all that and everything, and again, I'm not minimizing, just saying, if they didn't need no man, then why are all these single parent households in the melanated community failing? Why are all the men in these single parent households, more than half of them going to prison, right? If it was all you need was a divine feminine, and let's address this, one of this last things, Parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis, this science that, we, at ancient times, created each other, gave birth without men. Yes, that's in animals. Just like a chameleon animal, right? A chameleon, or I believe it's a chameleon lizard, right? You can fact check me if I'm wrong. A chameleon lizard. You could chop off the legs, the arms, right, of this particular chameleon or this particular lizard, and they all grow back, right? The arms grow back, the legs grow back, shit like that, right? That's what animals do, or do. That particular animal. Your black ass, try it. Try chopping off your arm and see if it grows back. Try chopping off your leg and see if it grows back. Try chopping off a finger and see if it grows back automatically. Like, come on, man. Logic. That's masculine energy too. Logic and reason. Deduction. That's masculine energy too. Not being in your emotions and feels because you was hurt and some man hurt you and you had bad strings of male relationships, or maybe your father you had a bad relationship with your father, and now you want to come online and you want to minimize men. Nah, we ain't having that. Not the gods. Not the gods. We not having that. We respect women. We honor women. We elevate women. We elevate the divine feminine. But we got some jokes too. It's like y'all got some jokes about us, right? The same thing. And we see the flaws in y'all, just like y'all see the flaws in us. But we not living right and exact. And that's fairness. That's justice. I stand on my eye. I stand on my eye. Let me say it one more time. For the people and the women in the back. I stand on my eye, the heart and the scale. That's what my ancestors stood on. They ain't stand on no women are just the cream of the crop, and men are supposed to be the slaves and the workers for women. Like I heard some nigga online say, this nigga said, tall men ain't supposed to play sports. They supposed to only protect women. But what about the game in Kemet called Sinat? It was a game, a ball game that the pharaohs played. And guess what? It's very similar to baseball. Look it up. Do your ChatGPTs, do your Google search. Fact check me, nigga or nigga. We gotta stop this, man. We gotta stop this spiritual, mystical gender war. It ain't helping nobody. It ain't helping nobody get ahead. Y'all out here gender war, yeah, it might make your YouTube videos pop. You know what I'm saying? But all two girls in one cup can make your YouTube videos pop too. Those of you who don't know what YouTube two girls in one cup is, I recommend you not Google it, right? But just by me saying that, you're gonna Google it anyway. But you're gonna get a lot of views. You get a lot of views on some bullshit. You get a lot of views telling niggas that aliens is about to come and descend and save them. You get a lot of views telling niggas that a comet called the Nibiru is gonna come down and save them. Like, we gotta keep it true. We gotta keep it player, and not play in the sense of conniving or misleading or manipulation, but understanding true science. Like, there's no electron without the proton. There's no egg without the sperm. We can't use animals and then say, oh, this animal could do this, so the human vessel could do that. No. Let's say hypothetically, right? Because I'm fair, right? Let's say hypothetically that did happen in the past where women was just creating children out of nowhere, right? Parthenogenesis is what they call it, right? Why the fuck would they create men if we so bad? Why? If we're not supposed to be here, why we here? If we're not supposed to be here, why we here? Now, yes, there's a lot of ills in the world that are created by men. Are all men divine masculine? No. Are all women divine feminine? No. Just because you take care of the family, that's because you're more emotional, more tender, and usually the men are out there getting it. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. Men are usually more assertive. Men are usually more aggressive. Men are usually more willing to go to war. Women are more passive aggressive, right? Women are not really the ones that go to war for the most. Now, in this society that we live, this Western society that's influenced damn near everything has been corrupted. So because everything has been corrupted, right, we're trying to balance the scales in our own way. But real gods, we acknowledge the symbols. Real gods, we acknowledge the oracles. Real gods, we acknowledge the high priestess on the tarot deck, right? Being the card right after the magician. We acknowledge that, her science, right? But it's man, woman, and child. It's Orser, Orset, and Heru. It's Orser, man, Orset, woman, or in Heru, the child. Like, what we talking about? What are we talking about here? You have a masculine left side of the brain that is logical, that is reasoning, that is deductive, and you have a feminine side of the brain, right hand side of the brain, which is holistic, which is feeling, which is emotional, which is visible. The left hand, the masculine side of the brain, is more verbal than visual. So these are two polarities. You got the heart, which we discussed, which is masculine. But you also have the gut, which is the womb, which is feminine. And then you have the brain that regulates both. I mean, this shit is silly. The crazy thing is some of y'all got sons, husbands, uncles, fathers, people y'all revere and love dearly, but don't want to say that we have divine energy, that we're the cause of all the problems in the world. Is you serious? All this mystical, spiritual, gender warring shit is whack, yo. It's really whack. It don't help nobody. Doesn't help the children. Doesn't help society. And we need to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses as men, as women, so we can get the best out of each other. We need to do this so we can get the best out of each other, not so we can get online and destroy each other. Like, like I was commenting because I'm like, yo, this is a woman that I followed, and I'm like, listen to her knowledge, and she has a lot of knowledge on hoodoo and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It was stuff that I was learning. You know what I'm saying? But then you say there's no divine masculine. I'm like, yo, whoa. Back the car up. Put the brakes on. What? Nah, you're not just gonna say that with me in the chat. No. And normally I would ignore it, right? Normally I would have kept it, but it was the audacity. It was the audacity for me. And it was the total minimization of man and masculinity to say the sperm don't matter, divine masculine don't matter, doesn't exist. Like what? Do you know what I've been through to become me? To embrace my divinity? To understand my divinity? And to balance it out and not be in my ego as a man in a Western society that teaches me I'm supposed to dominate and subjugate and make my woman submissive and not see her value. You know how intuitive I really am? I just want to say, really seek your science, right? XX is valuable, but XY is valuable too. I ain't never been around a society, right? You know how many women I've protected? I'm in New York City. You know how many women I've protected on the New York subway system from crazies over the years? You know how many women I've attempted to protect, which I've stopped doing if it's domestic dispute. And the girl is flipped on me to be with the guy. It was much when I was much younger, right? I know better now. But if you want to train, or if you're in a certain situation where I can interject and help save your life or save you from being abused in a way, I will. That's divine masculine. And please don't tell me if my big ass comes around and you got a crazy or you got a man harassing you, you don't want me to step in. Why? Protector, masculine, protector, masculine, provider, masculine, leader, masculine, prophet, masculine, planner, masculine, patience, masculine, power. You understand? Divine masculine too. Recognize the God, and recognize the God's likeness. All the men, most of the men that have told you that the black woman is God, look at where they are. Look at what they've done. A lot of times, I mean, and I hate to just use this guy as an example because I've been talking about him the last couple of days, but look at what Dr. Umar's been going through, right? He sits up here and he praises women, the black woman is this and the black woman is that. Look at what he's doing behind the scenes. A lot of times niggas is telling y'all that it's a marketing plan to get y'all money. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I am not living for this world. I get money. I get things that I want. I get, you know what I'm saying? Shit comes to me. Shit comes to me. Because I'm in tune with my masculine and feminine. So my magnetic is on point. I know how to hack the universe. Right? These are things I try to teach you. But you're not going to sit here and tell me, the God, that we don't got value, and that sperm don't matter, and that the proton doesn't matter, and that the heart on the scale doesn't matter, that anubis doesn't matter, and that say it Shango and like, come on, man, like, come on, man, like, what are we talking about for real? But I understand, people hurt people, right? Hurt people. So, get out your feelings, start healing, start revealing, because this masculine that you may be minimizing may be a masculine that saves your life one day, may be a masculine that tells you the truth, may be a masculine that gets you out your feelings out of something and allows you to see the reality, may be a masculine that motivates and inspires you, may be a masculine that has tantric, erotic, sensual energy that could touch your body, right? Similar to the way a lesbian would, while having a real phallus on him, while having a real magic wand on him, right? Maybe, just maybe, somebody studying the sexual arts that's a divine masculine so tough that they could do that, so that you, when you get with this man, you won't feel like all the past relationships that you had in the past, and all the past sexual adventures that you had in the past that wasn't satisfying. I know, I understand, I get it, and I understand why you feel the way you feel. Because some of y'all have went 40, 50 years and never really made love, just had sex. Some of y'all 40, 50, 60, 70 years, never really made love, just had sex. So I understand your pain. But and transmute that, alchemize it, right? We got to stop the online gentle wars. That's mundane shit. That's not for the spiritual, mystical community. That's not for the quote-unquote, if you want to call it the occult community. That's definitely not part of African spiritual esoteric technology, African spiritual sciences, right? The minute, in fact, in the 18th dynasty, and I'll close with this. In the 18th dynasty, there was a pharaoh named Akhenaten. He went against all the old dictates, right, of the ancient pharaohs that came before him, 17 dynasties before. And what he did was he propped up Nefertiti, which was a foreign woman, right? Nefertiti was not ancient or from ancient Kemet. She was foreign. And he propped her up. He started worshiping the sun as a god, right? Aten, which is the sun in Kemetic parlance. He started worshiping the sun as a god. And once he started worshiping the sun as a god, then he, then he propped up his woman, right? And elevated her to where, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But elevated her to a space where she was almost God herself, right? And once he did that and broke the old traditions, slowly and surely, Kemetic science from the 18th dynasty on, you'll see Kemet, right? Upper and Lower Egypt, they started having problems. They started having issues, right? Invaders started coming in from Greece, right? Invaders started coming in from Persia. Invaders started coming in, right? The Hyksos started coming in and things like that, right? Because things were out of balance, things were out of whack. And that's what we have now. We have a society of single mothers, right? A melanated society, and shit is out of whack. So if all you needed was a divine feminine, and why is that possible? Why don't people want a man? Why do men do certain things? I was watching a video today where a young boy had a fish, right? They were fishing. The father and son were fishing, and the father was like, "Yo, hold the line. Like the fish is here. Hold the line." And the young boy was scared, like he was nervous, shook to hold the line. Now, most women I know, they wouldn't force that little boy to hold the line because they would feel like you're being too harsh, you're being too aggressive, right? You're doing too much. But that's what the masculine is going to do. The divine masculine is going to push you past your comfort zone, past your fucking feelings, into what's logically like, yeah, you could grab that line with the fish on it, ain't nothing going to happen to you. And eventually, few moments later in the video, it's on my stories on Instagram right now, the little boy has the fish, right? He's actually going fishing. He reels the fish up and he's holding the line. Now, he's still a little scared, right? But if I was that guy's father, not to tell anybody how to father their children, right? But I would have fish all over. I would start putting like posters of fish. Since this is something that you guys do on the regular, I would have him holding toy fish, right? I would have him maybe get him an aquarium, right? Maybe you put a picture of fish in his room. Just so now you're programming the feminine, you're programming the subconscious, you're programming the subconscious mind, you're programming the autonomic nervous system, right? Which is feminine energy. Fight or flight is masculine energy. And don't tell me you don't need fight or flight out in these streets. It has its use, right? So again, what wakes you up in the morning is cortisol, masculine energy, right? What puts you to sleep, right? Serotonin, melatonin, feminine energy. Not serotonin, melatonin, feminine energy, right? So everything has a balance, polarity, yin and yang. Let's kill this online gentle war, especially those of us that are supposed to know better and that are out here teaching. Peace, power, and prosperity to one love. So all.